We're a group of Gen Xers learning about our ADHD and neurodiversity later in life. Join us as we discuss interesting clips we find online and how they relate to our own life experiences. Welcome to This Is How My Brain Works.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of This Is How My Brain Works. I'm Sarah, joined by Krista, Michael, and Jason, or Rudy as we affectionately call him. Everyone's here today, so buckle up. I'm going to be featuring someone who I think might be my new best friend. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm featuring someone who might be my new best friend. Her name is Carolyn, and she is an autistic ADHD-er. And her handle on Instagram is life_of_Carolyn. And we'll have it in our show notes. She really says something that hit me in her little bio, and it's "Welcome to my unmasking journey." And I thought that was a really kind of clever thing for us. So here I go, pulling it up right now, y'all. And without further ado, we will see the unmasking journey of our friend Carolyn, my new best friend.
So I'm an autistic ADHDer, and I'd found out just a couple of years ago. And when I found out, everywhere that I read was like, now it's time to unmask and be the real you. And I'm like, how am I meant to do that when my entire existence up until this point has felt like I need to make everybody else out there comfortable, even if it's to my own detriment. And now I'm expected just to forget all that and do what I want to do.
And that's basically So here I'll stop my share and we can kind of dig in if anybody resonates with that or maybe doesn't. For me, it's that fine line between reading the room and being my authentic self. And I think actually just triggered into thinking masking in some ways feels like manipulation of others for me, where I'm reading the room and trying to figure out how to make everybody like me, manipulate them into, or at least I've been accused of being manipulative when that's probably not what I was doing. It was more, I didn't know how to walk that line and be accepted.
I think for me, it really, some of it has to do with intent, I think. Like if your intention is to manipulate, but if your intent is to to be liked or to make someone feel at ease or comfortable, we all have just different personas that we use throughout the day, whether it's with our kids or spouses or coworkers or whatever. And I think if it comes from that place of integrity and
I don't know that integrity or intentions are transparent to others is the point. So as someone who my intentions are never to actually manipulate, but I have been accused of it, or being a brown nose.
So I was wondering if an opportunity to talk about this would happen this week, and I didn't know because I wasn't going to force it, but I had a situation last week that two people I know who didn't know each other before me, I was the person in common, met, and then we're at a party, and the conversation as it was relayed to me was something like, "Oh my gosh, you know Krista? I know Krista. Oh yeah." Somehow the conversation said, "Krista is so nice. She's sometimes a bully, but she's really nice." And these are two people I love. The person who said that is someone who I have great, not just affection, but I respect the hell out of this person. And it rattled around in my head for the entire weekend. It was very hard this weekend on that one. And now in reality, there's a lot about that. This person was a male, and, I think women in general, when you are someone who is a boss babe, can get labeled with that type of stuff. So I get it. But I also I think it was one of those moments as I'm coming to the realization of who I am now, that maybe my masking wasn't as good as I thought it was, and something is coming off differently than what I intend. Because I'm so direct, and I tend to be direct. I tend to be once I'm leashed onto an idea, I don't usually unleash unless it's run its course or we've made it happen. The reason why things happen when they're around me, and people always go like, "You're such an action maker." Well, maybe, but I also think I'm partially on spectrum, and that's my thing. Like I'm going to drive to an end because that's all I know what to do. And so and I had to really have that conversation. These were not bad things. And by the way, and the qualities of me that may have show up that way, I don't find to be bad qualities. But it was around this mask, it was around some of this masking thing of like, of me once again being so like hit in the face that this group that I thought that I had fit in with, they saw me as not fitting in again. And almost like they were tolerating me.
So, Krista, you were,
That was
if I-
really hard.
That hurts me. I feel all of what you said.
Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
myself.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
that's like a
and most of the
blindsiding
time
thing.
and most of the time you don't care. And like, as we've talked about that before, it's like I don't really go through the world hypersensitive to what people think of me. That's part of the blessing of, I think, me being on spectrum. But there are certain people that you care about, and when that's what has come from that group of people, or those few, it's really hard. Yeah.
Can I ask, just as far
Yeah.
as the masking, so you said you might not have been doing as good a job of masking as you thought. What with this group of people, like, do you have a conscious way of being or a conscious persona you're using?
Well, it's interesting. I have an interesting theory. I think we all mask. I think this
Yeah.
idea that's popping up right now, that it's somehow about neurodiversity, is BS. I think we all mask. We all are
Yep.
polite, and we all are expected to say or act certain ways in certain areas, and to read the room, and be a part of society and do the things, right? And so, but when it comes to, I think, my creative life and the people who I bump into on a creative space, have always felt like I'm trying to prove my worth. And I'm trying to be like, no, we're cool, we're collaborative, we're cool. What do you need? Like, and like,
I'm easygoing, I swear.
I'm super easygoing. I'll just whatever you need, like, and I'll always go above and beyond because I want to prove my value, and a lot of all this stuff, and it's exhausting. And part of that's really true for me. Like, I really am a go above and beyond and do the things, but a lot of it is because, I want to be liked. I want to be seen as a value member of a team. And so I do get a lot of stress when I can have really difficult conversations with people I don't give a shit about, but if they're people I care about, that's tough, you know? Yeah. So I think we're all masking all the time. And this newer, younger group of people coming up and going like, unmask, don't mask. I just think I think it's unrealistic, because I think every single
yeah.
person, regardless, masks.
Absolutely. I mean, because I mean, if it's someone you just met, you don't have that level of familiarity where I mean, it's part of it's like preservation. Part of it is like,
Yep.
do I trust this person yet or not? And so, you're presenting in a certain way. I did want to also mention, like, this person who said bully. Now, we also have to keep in mind or be mindful of the way others will internalize or personalize things. And that
Yeah.
adds another layer to this whole thing. Um, you know, go getter could have come out of someone's mouth, and bully could have come out of someone. Now, the person who said bully, maybe they had an insecurity around their own abilities, and they see you getting things done, and they're,
Yeah.
what did he say? Throwing some shade.
Yeah.
If I'm using that.
Is that what the kids say, Michael?
Did
Oh,
I do
they
it
don't.
right? No, but like, so I mean, not to like
Yeah.
walk around all day thinking through dynamic and all this stuff, but I mean, it is a reality, and it sucks that, like, I don't know how you found out about it, but it is kind of like that blindsiding moment. And and like, how did they say it and what was the tone? And
Yeah, you don't get any of that. I hear and I understand that in my brain,
But
Sure.
words mean something.
but it does I don't always
Words mean
understand it
something.
here. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I wasn't tenacious. I wasn't like she's tenacious or she's this or she's it was that word. And I think especially when you're a parent and and your kids go through school and we talk about bullies, that word is very
Loaded.
means very loaded.
it absolutely has a meaning around it. Yes, especially with
And
school.
it was followed up with it's not bad, she's wonderful and nice. That's how it was full. But I just that word, man, it was really rough. And
Was it two men or a man and a woman?
I don't want them to hear it. No, I mean, I guess
Well,
they're
it
gonna know
could
anyway.
very well be a male
Just
feeling
mixed.
threatened because, like,
Well,
I don't know that
and
it's-
honestly, none of that even matters. I think that
No.
I think the aha moment for me was just that space of what she was talking about. It's like when my true, I guess it's the fear. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, this is going to hit me hard. I think it's the fear that all of us who are neurodivergent have that if the real person sneaks out, that we won't be accepted or will be thought of as stupid or weird or dumb, all the things. And so it's almost like when you're watching, I don't know if any of you watched V years ago when that show was on and like the
Yes.
alien like sneaks out and you're like, oh gosh, maybe my autism snuck out. And
Time out so that give you a minute to
that's
breathe.
it.
She just did our Gen X reference. So
I was just going to say, and that is the Gen X moment of the episode. V, if you
yes, I remember V.
remember V or watched
I
it,
remember the original and the reboots.
bonus
I
points
didn't know
for
there was a reboot,
both.
but
But I
Please
think
leave a
that
comment.
that was the in relation to what Sarah just shared. It was this idea of, oh God, the alien snuck out.
for
But
me, I
what
feel
a
like a monster, not an alien.
but what a
Well,
like
right, but that's
I mean, what a thing that would be within anybody neurodiverse or neurotypical. It really is like, as a human, you want to find your place where you belong and can be yourself. But I think with a neurodiversity, that is it's a heightened thing. Like you're more highly sensitive to it and it hits you harder because you think that there's something wrong with you.
well, we've
From
been taught
I-
that there's something wrong with
yeah,
us.
right.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like so much feedback of another. So go deep on Life of Carolyn when you get a chance, Krista, because
Yeah.
some of her stuff was like, I feel like I'm too much. How many times have people told me that I'm just too much, too sensitive,
Too intense,
too intense,
too on it.
yeah, too honest. You don't need to be so brutally honest. And it's like,
Yeah, that too.
back to Michael's comment of my intentions are fucking, pardon my French, irrelevant to when looking at my impact. And because I'm sort of different, I maybe don't pick up on the cues as quickly about my impact so that I can make that feedback loop change to
Yeah.
be more gentle with that person. Back to what you were saying earlier, when we really don't
Yeah.
know, but even once we've known them for a while, I'm a little bit slower, or I used to be. Now I think I'm almost too fast at watching for all the signs of how is this landing on this person, and kind of that's the way that I mask. Jason, you
Rudy, what do you got?
had a lot of face. Did you write?
Big
Well,
reaction.
I'm just writing. I'm still writing. But I will say, Sarah, that anyone with that sort of accent in the video is my best friend too. Do you know what I'm saying? Love the accent.
Right? Automatic pass for anything.
Yes, we work so hard to make people around us like us, appreciate our value, just like you were saying, Krista. I mean, I see it every day at work, especially because I'm out of the home and it's a lot different. And I work so hard not to, I've worked hard over the last several years not to let out the fact that I lose everything or that, you know, I don't want anyone to see that at work. Well, it's happened so much that now it's comical, right? That we're like, oh, I don't know, guys. I have no idea where I put my keys. And they're like, hey, over the radio, it's like, did somebody, let's all get together and help Jason find his keys, please. Right? I mean, it's kind of become comical, but in the beginning, I was so scared. And we still want everyone to like us and to think that we're valuable. We do go over and above for those reasons. Often I think of that game you sort of play where it's like, if you could wish for anything, to be invisible or, you know, any of those, the last thing I would want is to hear what people say about me. I would really hate to be in your position and have something slip out like that, especially from someone that you admire and love so much and would work so closely. I will say this, and I see it in my wife, and she would be a great guest on one of these shows. She's always thought of herself as being autistic and on the spectrum of some. She is a very direct human being. Coming from a woman is so off-putting to some people. Why? Because society says women are not direct and honest. Well, and what I've realized about myself is I'm not direct. Why? Because I'm thinking already of, if I'm direct and just tell them the way I feel, how is this conversation going to go? How is it going to go? They're going to think I'm, you know, that I'm being mean or that I'm, you know, putting them down or, you know, already we're going to, you know, conflict. I don't want any conflict.
Yeah.
So as a son, you know, it's my masking is not being direct. It's finding a way and a way to conversate without making you know, any dust come up, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm always thinking of how these should go. And you know, if it's someone I just met, I'm thinking to myself, was that a stupid response? Like in my head, those things are going on as I'm having this conversation. Like, I shouldn't have said that. I had an interview today, virtual interview, and she's like basically the VP of Denver Golf, but I mentioned something about her hair. And after the interview, I mean, from right that moment, which was probably 10 minutes into a 50-minute interview, I said something about her hair. The whole interview, I'm thinking to myself, I hope I didn't offend her. You know, how do I even say like, hey, Pam, I'm sorry about that. Like that.
You over apologize and fixate on it for the rest of the interview.
Right. So I was like, uh-oh.
That was-
And in my head, I'm thinking, you know, I'm not going to get the job. There's no way. I wonder if everyone else was like, was it a big gasp from everyone? Like, you know, like what just happened? And the whole time it's like kind of, it's sort of, it's kind of permeating right around the, like every once in a while it makes an appearance. Like you said something about Pam's hair. You said something about Pam's hair, and it's distracting.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of person I am. And I know exactly, like I work so hard to please people and to make them like me because I feel like I'm a valuable piece in certain puzzles without question.
Yes, thank God. For
What
you.
But
did
I
you
never
say about
say
her
like,
hair?
I'm a
Yeah.
valuable human being.
What was the compliment or the comment?
It's like,
It's just a constant thinking of how other people are accepting what you've said, taking it in, absorbing it. What does that look like? Do they think I meant it like this? Do they think I meant it like this? Should I use not that word, but you know, what's my inflection? I should have said it like this,
Well,
or I
so
should have led with this.
And to that point, I would say that there is a good chance that in the situation I set up for you before, that the person who said that word is also neurodivergent. And and so hold on. So what I would say about that is that for all I know, because if they ever listen to this, they will know who they are, but I'm not going to say who they are. for all I know, they went away thinking, gosh, why did I use that word? Blah, blah, blah. And they perseverated around it while I sat at home hearing it through somebody else and perseverated around it. But because I will have to say, and I think this is true for many of us who are neurodivergent, is that there's a lot that goes off my back. It really is. There's a lot I don't notice. There's a lot that goes up. But man, when something hooks in, that's
hooks.
like a little burrow worm
Tenterhooks,
that
you're on
is.
tenterhooks.
Oh,
But just to play devil's
Yeah.
advocate, can inflection and the way it's presented,
100%.
what she was like this, I love her to death. We've worked together forever. She's she
She's a
gets
bully.
done. We've accomplished so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes she's kind of a bully.
Yeah, totally.
She kind of bullies me around a little bit. Or is it like,
Yeah.
And I love it.
And who knows? Because
Right.
I heard it. That's the other thing. It's like, I heard this
But
through
still,
someone else.
you
And
hold on to it.
so,
I would too.
so all of the brain entirely goes like, it's probably nothing. This person loves you, like all this stuff. But there is just that small bit that goes, oh gosh, the alien peeked out and someone caught it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I want to share another thing with my screen that goes directly to this. And it's very, very quick. And I was tempted to share it today. So now I'm glad because all of this. So it's rejection sensitivity, dysphoria, bingo. And I thought, I don't really have this.
Yeah.
And then I went, oh.
This is a big thing for ADHDers.
So
Rejection
I'm going to
sensitivity.
read through the ones that I
Oh my
have.
God. I mean, I can't. Are you kidding me? Everyone is so, it's like,
So this is from Molly's ADHD Mayhem. And the categories for your bingo are apologize, raise your hand or say I if you do it. Apologize excessively.
I,
Difficulty trusting others.
100%.
Approval seeking behaviors.
Yeah.
Intrusive negative thoughts.
I.
Social isolation.
Joyfully so.
Criticism can quite literally ruin your day.
I.
An extreme fear of being rejected or disliked by others. I think what we do is say no if we don't have it, and I'll move on because obviously people-pleasing tendencies.
Not most of the time,
Lucky you.
but sometimes.
Striving for perfection as a way to avoid criticism.
100%.
Thank you very much. I feel seen.
I'd like to say I to that one as well.
You often anticipate the worst possible outcomes.
Not as much on that.
Yeah, not as much for me. Thank you.
When I was younger, I would say yes, but not as much
Yes.
now.
If it's on a scale of anticipating the worst possible outcomes, right, of like 1 to 10, I'm at like a 6.5. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a full on like every
healthy.
time catastrophe. I'm like a 6.5 on that scale.
But so, and another thing that this brought up in my head was cognitive behavioral therapy. So Krista, you said, you run through and you think, oh, it could be this, but then you think maybe it's these other things.
Yeah.
Those are cognitive behavioral therapy tricks for your brain. So in this place where you're the type of person that anticipates the worst possible outcome, know that, accept that part of you, back to Michael from last week, accept that part of you and say, okay, I know that I do this. And now let me try to imagine the best possible outcome. And just by knowing that, to your point earlier, Krista, about how you used to be like that before as a kid, but you've kind of grown, probably because you've practiced some of these cognitive behavioral tricks to get you there. So to the bingo, fear of failure. Captain.
Oh, wait, can I just one quick thing,
Yeah,
Sarah? You often anticipate the worst possible outcomes. I know a couple of people that are always worst case scenario. And how easy it is for me. I don't know why. And it's almost it's an embarrassment to me a little bit, like, are you kidding me, Jason? But I'm able to easily tell them, hey, look, guess what's going to happen? Don't even worry about it. You don't know what they're going to say. go in there confidently. Like, it's so easy for me to tell a couple of friends I have who it's like always worst case scenario, that it's not. For me, sometimes I can't talk myself down
don't
from
you-
thinking,
But don't you think that's normal? Like, it's always easy for us
Yeah.
to counsel or
True,
coach someone
true.
else than ourselves. Like,
always,
I'm
right?
a hot, and I would say for fear of failure now, I don't have a fear of failure as much as that when I was younger, I certainly did. I do have a fear of failure on random, stupid, weird things like legal contracts or weird shit like that. But I don't in terms of life. Like I really am in that space of like, if you don't ask, you don't get. If you don't try, you don't ever move forward. Like if you don't fail, you don't learn. Like, but that is learned over years.
Yes.
I think I grew up in an absolute, abject, paralyzing fear of failure.
Mm.
When
I have
I
a fear of
growing up.
heights. Is that on the card? No.
Yeah, a fear of skydiving.
Yeah. So then really quick, feelings of
Yes,
inadequacy.
Hello,
You're
I have that.
told to stop being sensitive. Oh yeah.
No, I'm never told that.
Oh, I'm so, oh, you're joking.
Oh,
You're funny. Intense
No, I'm
emotional
never told that.
reactions to rejection or criticism.
Big time.
Intense empathy for others' emotions. Well, Chris
Yep.
cried and I just started crying. So yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
You find socializing difficult sometimes.
yes. Yeah. I find it joyful at some points, but it's always difficult to start. No one, 100%. I don't care if I love you. I haven't seen you in years and I cannot wait to see you at dinner. The hour before I go will be absolutely agonizingly
Yeah.
difficult to get me out the door to do it.
I have a question. Do you guys
Yeah,
feel
sometimes.
do you feel that difficulty socializing when right before we meet for this podcast?
No, because it's not in person.
Oh, are you sure?
I
mean,
don't have that. I get excited before we meet.
no, me
here.
too. But my point being, are you sure? I wonder if we were to meet in person, if we would also still be excited. I think we might be. I think that
No, because then we'd all have to have pants on. The problem. It's easy in a meeting. No one has, you could just put on your whatever, your skivvies. What do they call them?
I don't know.
But to meet in person, it'd be like this. I'm so uncomfortable in these pants.
And they don't realize in real life how fat I am and what I do and like all the stuff. Yeah, no,
I don't know how much
it's
I
hard.
smell like my diaper. I mean, that's not me. Somebody else that I'm thinking of.
Truly.
I
So
just
move
want to say our time is up, or like we have 5 minutes left as just
Okay.
as a timestamp. Like we can still finish, but I want to do my job.
We should,
love
we
it.
should wrap.
Social
So-
anxiety. Yeah.
100%.
Intense mood swings. Yeah.
It
What are
depends.
you talking about?
Yeah, especially when I'm stressed. That is
Oh.
definitely.
Yep.
Yeah. If I've been holding on, it just takes one
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Worrying, you're being too much. We've already gone over that
Yep.
one. You use scripting to avoid saying the wrong things. Only in conversations that I know are going to potentially be a conflict situation.
No, I don't do that.
With that, I will perseverate on a text or an email for quite some time, and I'll change things around and I'll.
Oh,
course.
100%. And then I always go like, okay, if I can read it from the top to the bottom without wanting to make a change, then it's ready to send. Oh my gosh, that could be months.
5
And
days
so
later. Yes. Yes.
So I've literally gotten to the point where I will body double that. I will be on with Laura or with Jason, my producing partner, and he'll go send it. And I'll go right now. Are you sure you want to read it? He'll go send it. And then I literally have to go like, you're going to send it. But yeah, I have to have like encouragement sometimes.
And then you get the massive
Getting in my brain. Oh my God.
endorsement rush or endorphin rush or the,
Well,
you
yes,
have
but
to send it.
but then the endorphin rush is often followed not that long after with crippling regret and anxiety.
Catastrophizing.
Wait. Have you ever sent a text? Well, this is what I do. If I've sent a text, but I'm like, you should come too, but it's like TO instead of TOO, then I'm like, I hope they know I didn't mean, like, I know like how to use the English language, right? But I'm not the one to then send a text like TOO, happy face, like, you know what I mean? I never send that. I'm just
The
like,
asterisks
I hope
with
they
it
understood.
properly spelled.
I hope they understood.
I'm an asterisk
Me
sender.
Or like
Yep.
if you instead of like you're supposed to like I don't know. I think today I wrote something that had the pen TEN right, but it said TED. And then like for a couple of minutes I'm like I hope and like does it if I read it does it they'll know it's 10 right? If like they read the sentence and that TED is like I don't have to say anything that it's you know what I mean
Yeah.
like for a couple minutes I'm thinking like
I
hope
also think this is a Gen Xer thing too, because because I'll have my kids go, I know what you mean. Like you didn't need to
right
do
totally
the extra.
totally
Like back
I
off.
knew
I
what you
got
meant.
it.
Of
But
course I knew what you meant.
But
Good,
our
I'm so
Gen
happy.
X perfectionism, we're like,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like to reinforce with emojis. I don't think emoji is anyway, that's another conversation. But
all right.
okay, so any last
right.
thoughts on our guest today?
So we had two fabulous guests,
Yes.
Carolyn, Life of Carolyn, and Molly's _ADHD mayhem. And honestly, they feel seen. I feel a little sad. It's amazing. The end.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, y'all, for spending another half hour with us. I hope that you're able to feel seen as well and take something that's helpful for you in your journey on this big spinning globe.
And check out V only on Hulu. Okay. If you like this episode of This Is How My Brain Works, please like, subscribe, and share. For more info on today's clip, the hosts, and our podcast, check out the show notes. Thanks for listening.